So, guys, important announcement coming in from Canadian Immigration IRCC that changes have been made to the interim work authorization for open work permit holders, which is international students holding or applying for postgraduate work permits. Guys, this particular news is extremely important if you are inside Canada as an international student, or even thinking of coming to Canada, and you would want to chalk a specific pathway as to what steps to follow in the future. Guys, please be sure to watch the video till the end. My name is Sahil. Guys, welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice here in Ontario. My office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to speak with you. Before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because we talk a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant to moving to Canada, then this is a channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. So, guys, we are talking about interim work authorizations which are given to applicants of work permits. And in today's video, or the update is specifically about international students who will be applying for their postgraduate work permits. Now, guys, first let me explain what exactly is an interim work authorization, and then we'll talk about what the change has been made. Now, what really happens is whenever international students apply or say complete their education in Canada, they're supposed to apply for a postgraduate work permit. Now, while a postgraduate work permit will have a separate set of requirements, for example, completing the course to its entirety, completing from a specific designated learning institution, all the other requirements of, a PGWP are separately. Assuming that a student is compliant with all of those requirements and a student applies for a postgraduate work permit, usually, the student is considered to be on a maintained status or implied status as it used to be called earlier. Now, maintained status means here that a student, while is awaiting decision on their PGWP or postgraduate work permit application, can continue to work in Canada. Now, the issue in the past couple of months or years has been that not everybody is aware about what exactly is implied status or maintained status. And because Canadians are normally not deeply aware about immigration laws, so what the immigration requirements or the regulations or the law said is that students, once they apply for a PGWP, are under maintained status or implied status, and they're allowed to work full time without any restrictions. So it's a sort of an open work permit, um, while they're awaiting their actual work permit, which could take weeks or months of processing. Now, after COVID, IRCC realized that their processing of postgraduate work permits was taking longer than usual. It could go up to say 3 months, 4 months, at times. And during those 3 or 4 months of waiting for postgraduate work permits or the open work permits to come through, students faced a lot of challenges in scoring jobs, where the employers would say that okay, because you don't have a work permit in your hand, we are not able to give you a job. And then students had a hard time explaining to their employers the rule or the law. There were FAQs available on the IRCC website, so the students faced challenges in explaining the employer that no, they have applied for their PGWP, they've completed their education, they're eligible to work and blah blah blah, and still they faced a lot of challenges. So what IRCC did, in the meantime, is that they started issuing interim work authorizations while the students actually waited for their work permits. So initially, when the interim work authorization letters were being issued, very recently, they were issued for 120 days. So 4 months, IRCC issued that letter, and they also had a provision where a student could ask for an extension of that letter if IRCC was not able to process the work permit within that period of 120 days. Afterwards, what happened is that with this particular change today, IRCC has mentioned that because the PGWP processing could take longer than assumed, which could be longer than 4 months. It could take 6 months or maybe more, depending upon how IRCC is processing work permits inside Canada. So they said that, as per the latest update, that the Changes to the interim work authorizations have been made, and now they will be issued for 180 days instead of the 120 days. It is not a major change in terms of a policy or anything like that, because it is not a separate policy as such, but it is an ease. It's a method of providing, or helping students, where they can go to their employers with their work authorization letters and get their job in a more easier, or can explain to their employers that they've already applied for their work permits and they're eligible to work. Okay, so this is the whole reason or the logic behind interim work authorization. um, Please note that despite having this interim work authorization change, if in case IRCC is not able to process your work permit within the desired 180 days as well, you can still ask for an extension of that, and if required, IRCC will be able to process the extension as well. It is mentioned there in the policy, in the program updates of that. Guys, overall, it is helping international students, and IRCC is trying to make regular changes to their systems. Nothing big, but still important for international students and people who are coming to Canada in terms of work or study and so on. Guys, I hope the news today was helpful, gave you much insights into what's happening in the world of Canadian immigration. If you have anything to discuss with us, please feel free to schedule a consultation, and we would be more than happy to speak with you. Once again, we wish you all the best, and we really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.